Costello, your local professional realtor, as well as an Impactful People board member. And I'm here with Joey Yorchek on the board of SWEAP, a local nonprofit. And he's going to tell us a little bit about what you do. So, what's SWEAP, Joey?
Thank you. So SWEAP stands for Southwest Washington Elder Abuse Prevention Coalition. So we serve the vulnerable adult population in Southwest Washington.
And so do you know how the idea came about and the origins of the organization?
Yeah, so many years ago, I'm going to say right around 2004, so it actually, SWEAP used to be known as the Vulnerable Adult Task Force. So it actually was, it was actually a bunch of professionals, so we had elder law attorneys, we had APS workers, but you sort of had an elder law attorney. Her name was Jessica Dimitrov, and she had sort of pulled the whole group together. But at the time, they noticed that there was a problem in our community with elder abuse and not enough being done about it. So they decided to pull some of these professionals together, and they created the Vulnerable Adult Task Force. And at the time, it had more to do with, because there were attorneys, and they also had a detective that was assigned with the Vancouver Police Department. And so at the time, they were focusing more on the prosecution of people who were taking advantage of the vulnerable adult population. And so what came from the Vulnerable Adult Task Force was SWEAP, because what they realized from that was that there was not enough education about what is elder abuse. We all know that child abuse is wrong. So you know that somebody's hitting a child, we all immediately react. We all know that it's not right. But it didn't seem like there was the same stigma when it came to elder abuse or abuse against a vulnerable adult. So it seemed like the reason for that was that there's not a lot of education happening on vulnerable adult abuse. So from the Vulnerable Adult Task Force came SWEAP, and so that's where SWEAP's focus is really about educating, advocating, and doing the best that we can to prevent the abuse from happening. So that's how SWEAP sort of started.
Wow, it's seeing a need and then identifying that. Excuse me. So since you've been involved with the organization, what's been one of the biggest challenges that's facing SWEAP?
You know, I think for me, it really has to do with creating that stigma and being consistent enough to continue with the education and making sure people are, aware that you spend a lot of time with grandma and you're helping her out with things, but yet there doesn't seem to sort of be this again, the stigma that it's not okay to take a $20 bill from her wallet and sort of justify it later by saying, oh, well, I've been helping her out with grocery shopping, and so I'm entitled to have that money. And I think, too, there's many forms of abuse aside from just financial. But I think that what we see sort of on a regular basis with family members, and I get, we also understand, taking care of someone who is medically fragile can again be emotionally exhausting. And so it tends to cause people to maybe do things or make decisions about things that they wouldn't normally do if they weren't under that kind of pressure. So I think, again, the biggest challenge is really just getting the word out there and trying to create the stigma that abuse against a vulnerable adult is not okay.
That makes sense, that awareness piece. So the organization's been around for a while, and you're continuing to engage volunteers. What do you attribute the success of SWEAP to?
Well, and I think it's about getting involved in the community. So it's about making connections with people. It's about spreading the word and finding those opportunities and working with those communities like senior living facilities or adult family homes and building these connections and trying to do more educational presentations and reaching out. We did a presentation recently out there at the gym kind of out in Salmon Creek. I forget what it was called. One of those gyms, but basically we had a group of seniors who have the Silver Plus membership with their Medicare plan.
Oh, Silver Sneakers like program.
Yes.
Something like that.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
So we went out and we just gave them a presentation about what is abuse, and and our goal is to really educate people about what are the types of abuse, how to have a conversation with someone that you suspect is being abused, and if you're not sure what to do, what resources are available to that person if they need to get a hold of somebody to stop the abuse from happening.
That makes sense. So what do you, if you were to put a message on a billboard about SWEAP, or if there was one thing you'd want the community to know about SWEAP, what would that be?
Honestly, I would say the message I'd want on a billboard is stop elder abuse. That seems pretty basic.
Yes. Yeah.
But again, they're sort of, as you look around and you see sort of all of this energy that goes into other situations like violence against children and the abuse that happens, and you don't really see a whole lot of that, and I don't know if it's because people are afraid of it, or I'm not 100% sure where that comes from, but I think that the more that we get out there and we educate people about the abuse, and the more that we get out there to advocate for those that are being abused, the more that it'll become familiar to everyone. And so the next time that daughter's working with mom and taking care of her at the house doing grocery shopping, and she'll think about taking that $20 bill, and she'll realize that's morally wrong. It's not an okay thing to do.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So stop elder abuse is a great message
yes.
to end on. So you obviously cover Southwest Washington. If people want to become involved and volunteer or reach out to have a presentation, how do they get a hold of SWEAP? Yeah,
so the best way to get a hold of SWEAP really is to probably find us on our Facebook page. So if it's at facebook.com/SWEAP.
Okay, and that's SWEAP.
That
right?
is, yes.
Not sweep as in a broom.
Yes.
SWEAP.
Correct. Although I like to make the joke of sweeping out elder abuse.
Oh, I like that, yes.
But yeah, you can find all of our information on our Facebook page. We also have a website, and it's sweepcoalition.org.
Okay.
But that has all of our contact information, phone number, address. We also have a lot of good information about upcoming events that we're doing, or fundraisers that we might be having, educational opportunities, seminar series that we put on. We're getting ready for another round of seminar series this year, and bringing in professionals to talk about things that would affect when it revolves around the elder abuse or vulnerable adult abuse. So that's really the best place to find a lot of our contact information.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Joey. Really appreciate your time. Again, I'm Andy Costello with Joey Yorchek with SWEAP, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.